Hey guys, welcome. It's Bob. I wanted to just go do a short video for you guys and give you a couple of options on how to connect the water to the water supply to your toilet tank. Now, in today's world, this is the most common type we see. You can go into any home center or plumbing supply, and this is probably what they're going to give you unless you ask otherwise. They're stainless steel water supplies. They come 12, 16, and 20-inch lengths. And depending upon the distance you have here, that's going to dictate which size you're going to get. The only thing I'll mention is that you're going to be limited by your distances here, so you're not able to cut these. So if you're a little in between, such as I am here, and I'll show you what I mean. Now this particular one we're looking at has a plastic nut up on top, but they do come with metal nuts, chrome-plated brass. But the bottom, they have the usual compression rings. And as you can see, I have this little bit of a bend in it, but I have no control over that. This is a 12-inch supply, and the distance from here to here is a little less, so I got a little slack in here, and that's just the way it is. Frankly, I don't like to use these on toilets only because they don't look too pleasing. I don't have a problem using these connecting sinks under cabinets because you can't see them, but nevertheless, this is what we have. My tip for these are, when you tighten your compression nut, when you tighten your top nut to your water refill valve, is to always hold back on these crimp rings here. And what that's going to do is that's going to keep this supply in one spot, because if you do not hold back here while you're tightening, this is what happens. You see that moving? You see the way it twists? You don't want that to happen. So what you'll do is you'll loosen it, get it back where you want it, and then hold back the crimp ring, and then as you tighten it, it'll stay in one spot. Same thing for the bottom. You'll hold on here. As you tighten it, it'll stay still. That's pretty much it for this type of supply, guys. Again, aesthetically not too pleasing, especially if you're putting in a high-end tank and bowl, where people spend a lot of money, and then you end up putting one of these in. Doesn't look too professional. My preferred method, when I'm putting in high-end fixtures, or even low-end fixtures that are exposed, are the chrome-plated toilet supply tubes. Now these are chrome-plated copper. They come in 12 and 20-inch lengths. They're able to be cut and custom. You can measure your distances from top to bottom and cut them exactly. And also you can bend them. As you can see, I put a little bend in this one, a little mild bend, because the distance here and the distance here is different, which is what you're going to find in most retrofit applications. Unless you're doing this brand new from scratch and you're following the manufacturer's rough-in recommendations, you're going to be, this is not going to be exactly lined up. It's going to be maybe to the left, to the right. It's going to be in further. It's going to be out further. With these, there's really not an issue because you can, they're flexible. You can connect them any way you want. With these, they come straight, absolutely straight. So you're going to have to make your bend. And you can do that simply. Mild bends, you can just take your hand and give it a mild bend. For extreme bends, I use a bending spring, which I'll go over in another video. But how I connect these is, we'll put our top nut on. Then this is followed by a compression nut and a compression ring. What happens with this style is, as you tighten the compression nut onto the valve, it'll actually compress the ring, making a watertight seal. But how I do this is I always put my bottom one in first. Now, let me back up a second. What you're going to want to do is measure from the very bottom, the bottom thread on the valve, to the bottom of your water supply valve. And that's the measurement. Now, if you're going to offset this, you may want to leave a 1/4 of an inch more, because as you bend this, it's actually going to shorten up. So you have to take into account how much of a bend you're making before you do that. And what you do to cut these is you use a tubing cutter. Now this is an expensive one. They make less expensive ones, but if you think you're going to be doing this regularly, you might want to invest in this tool. Again, you can use a hacksaw. You can use your little mini hacksaw to cut the end off if you're just doing a one-time deal. But that's how I cut them. With these, I always want to catch my top first. I will hold on to my water supply valve. I will tighten this all the way. And then I will proceed to tighten my bottom one. So you'll leave this loose until you tighten this, because if there's any little space or a little discrepancy, you'll pull the tube up. I often see guys make up the bottom nut first. They'll go in there right away and they get the wrench out and they'll make up the bottom nut, and they'll end up with a little space as such. And then they'll try to take this nut and run it up, and then they'll whack it tight, and then they'll cause an upward strain on the water line as well as a downward pull on the plastic shank. You don't want to do that because these are plastic, they can break. But that's how you connect these, and I would always, in an exposed application, recommend using one of these, because in my opinion this makes a much nicer looking job than this. Unfortunately, you know, with the advent of these type of connectors, they've taken a lot of the skill out of the plumbing trade, but nevertheless, you know, welcome to the new world. Listen, guys, that's it for this video. If you have any questions, or if there's something in here you see you don't understand, email me, info@bobsplumbingvideos.com. Leave me your comments, good and bad. If there's something I missed, by all means tell me. And I will see you in the next video. Take care.